The Quincy continue to attack Soul Society, and Hitsugaya continues to be in Strugglesville. And my review of Bleach Chapter 551. The ruthlessness of the Quincy knows no bounds, and you can see that in this week's chapter as they continuously ravage Soul Society and kill all of the Shinigami one by one. I especially loved how at the beginning of this week's chapter we had that confrontation again with Hoshwalth and Shunshui, and we get to see that Nanao is able to protect them a little bit with her Kido abilities. But she didn't teach this to everybody, and Hoshwalth knows this, so he knows it's only a matter of time before they're going to be able to get to each other. What's really freaky about all of this is as they're sitting there talking, you actually get to see there's a lot of explosions going on behind them, which I'm guessing that's the one that had to deal with Soi Fong. But really, the rest of this week's chapter was getting to see Hitsugaya essentially running away from Bazz-B, because Bazz-B is just fucking his shit right up. No matter what Hitsugaya does, whether it be some sort of ice trap or just trying to use his regular abilities, Bazz-B is just able to one-up him in just about every conceivable way. And it really isn't fair. The fact that this guy is using his fire powers and the fact that Hitsugaya has ice powers, it's just not a fair battle at all, but it is really interesting to see the two fight against each other. And I feel really bad for Hitsugaya because he's just sort of on the run at this point. And as the chapter goes on, you get to see that Bazz-B has some more abilities. In the last chapter, he had his Burning Finger 1. Now he has Burning Finger 2. I'm guessing just the number of fingers he uses with the attack is how powerful it's going to be. And you get to see the devastation of this. There's basically mushroom clouds exploding in Soul Society, which is pretty friggin' awesome. The most important parts of this chapter, however, come at the end when Bazz-B essentially just beats the hell out of Hitsugaya. His sword has been cut in half. He's bleeding. He's beaten. And as he's literally on the ground about to die, we see another one of the Quincy arrive, and it is another member of the Stern Ritter. It is Kangdu, and he's the guy who actually stole Hitsugaya's powers in the first place, so it looks like he's the one who's going to be finishing him off. At the end of the chapter, there's a little tease with Kuratsuchi. He gets a call from Urahara, and Urahara explains essentially that he has found a way to get the Bankais back. And this is a great way to end this chapter, just leaving us with more of a cliffhanger. But again, this was another huge action chapter of Bleach with a lot of giant panel spreads and a lot of explosion, basically just to demonstrate how powerful the Quincy really are. So considering the way that last week's chapter ended, I was really surprised to see Hitsugaya just sort of running around. But then again, this is Bleach, and a lot of the characters always have these massive wounds on their body, and they're able to just get up in an instant. Now, Hitsugaya, I don't know if he's going to die, I don't know if he's going to live. I'm guessing he's going to get saved at the last moment. That's just sort of the thing that happens in these shonen series. Although if Kangdu actually does finish him off, that'll be pretty cold and pretty friggin' ruthless. A lot of explosions this week. If you're really into big explosions, you're going to love this one. I know that Kubo loves doing those. And there were a lot of giant panel spreads of the giant explosions, just getting to see the devastation of the battle that's been going on here. But obviously, the biggest development this week is probably the stuff at the end where Urahara has to call in and explains that he's going to find a way to get the Bankai back. And maybe that's like that weird little device he's been working on. I don't know. Although, it's going to be interesting to see, and maybe this will open up something entirely new for the rest of the arc. All I know is it's all speculation at this point, and there's a lot more battles to come. I kind of wish they would even go back to the BG9 battle with Soi Fong, but I'm sure they're going to be saving that maybe for next week. And of course, they're also hyping up the Shunshui and Hoshwalth stuff. So, a lot of really important things are getting ready to happen. Ever since Bleach has finally come back after its long break, we haven't even really seen Ichigo doing anything yet. But we all know from the past that this series loves to build up Ichigo a lot and use him more towards the end of the arc than in the middle. So, let's just enjoy what we get right now, which is a lot of pretty good action. And let's hope that Hitsugaya lives, because he's one of my favorite characters. And because of that, pretty tense chapter. Some of the artwork could have been a little more detailed, personally, to me. But for the most part, this was just a big action chapter, and I liked it a lot. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. There were some moments that were a little slow and maybe some stuff they could have elaborated on. But otherwise, if you're a fan of Bleach, you should definitely check out this week's chapter. It's a very exciting read, and I can't wait to see what the fate of Captain Hitsugaya is going to be. So how did you guys feel about this week's chapter of Bleach? Do you think Captain Hitsugaya is going to die, or do you think he is going to live? You can let me know with your comments below. And before you guys leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. And you can check out whatever else we have up top. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.